Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Aki number 2. In this video, we're going to be looking at Cloud9 versus Envious in Valorant. Of course, we're about to watch them play on Ascend. I have not watched this game yet. I've been literally stopping myself from watching this game so I can have a first impression. I'm trying to find the right timeline here. I think it's like 51:40 something. So we'll be getting into it very, very soon. Can I get it? 52 maybe? Okay, there we go. That works. Yeah, so I was kind of confused at first because I saw Ascent and I was like, hang on, I'm sure they've played this before. And that's because I think they played this yesterday. This is a brand new game, though. At least it was done 4 hours ago by what Twitch says. Regardless, so we're about to watch Envious play against Cloud9 in the Pop Flash tournament. Let's go.
He's committed, and I love it.
Yeah, there's so many cool things that they could have learned, in the night before, between these games as well, like additional setups. So we'll have a look and see what we will discover early on here. And it looks like Mummy's going to get some early information out of B main. And
still figuring out the audio, by the way, so that's why it got a bit louder just then.
Pop up some utility there, Nano Swarm, to get that B main control. So C9 just creating presence, but on, again, both extremities, which really makes things rather confusing for Envy. You can see Envy have given up all map control here. They're playing effectively, they're just relying on their sight holds. And they're just giving up everything else.
Yeah. And this is what they did previously as well against C9 on Ascent.
Well, this is being played kind of slow so far.
Get into B, because look at all the utility that's been placed. They got the turret further up. They have Nano Swarm laid out. Let me see. Did they also play a Trapwire too? They didn't play the Trapwire mid. Huh.
This is really interesting. So far, Envy are playing a really cool denial game of information. Again, they've given up all this space, but C9 have seen one player so far, and it's 30 seconds left to plant the spike. They've only seen A Cypher on the A side. They have no information. They're going for a rotation to the B side, but they're
very rare that you see this type of play. 25 seconds on the clock, just like that. They've literally just let a minute go.
And I think that's part of the reason why.
That's crazy.
Just play this one out slowly. Mitch is going to make some.
Oh my gosh, there's no way that they actually run out of time here. Or are they? Well, this is the thing now, though. This is bad. This is awkward. This is very awkward. What just happened, bro?
And it worked.
That was such an awesome pistol, because this is something that we saw.
Let's put a quick disclaimer out, right? So I respect the hell out of every single player who has grinded their way to get into this position. If I make a remark like, what the hell are they doing, or something like that, that is very much just a on the moment remark, nothing to do with these skills. These players are incredibly good at the game, and I will never say anything different to that, basically, just in case someone like sees this and thinks, he's talking like he knows what he's talking about. I don't. These guys are the pros of the proest, if that makes any sense. But when some things seem a bit like an interesting or a weird decision, I will still call it out, because there's this is a reaction analysis thing. So but I just want to put that disclaimer that I do not mean to disrespect anyone who I talk about in this video. They're all really good at the game. Really happy for them all being on tier 1 organizations, but I'm also going to say what I think when I see it in terms of on the moment decision making. So anyway, moving forward, I know that some of you will think, oh, he didn't have to say that. Some people will take what I say and think it's something different. So
slap that Jerome with a knife. Okay.
So Cloud9 again, playing it kind of slowly, but I don't think they'll play it as slowly as last time. And this time, it looks like they're.
I mean, C9 don't have really much utility.
It looks like they're trying to go for A. Calypso is ready for it.
So it's looking a bit awkward here. The Marshall there from Caboose.
Envy is ready right now. Envy is looking very strong here, but Shinobi getting 2 important picks there potentially.
This could get a little bit out of hand here.
This is now a 3 versus 3, and actually Cloud9 is winning on that 3 versus 3 in terms of health and play count. Now it's 3 versus 2, and Envy. This is not potentially that good for Envy now. It's still anyone's round at this point. But 10's one of the star fraggers, and Cloud9, as far as I'm concerned, is actually still alive, which is really good for them. And now Envy has to reclaim this site. They can't see where they are, but they do know where they are now. Envy trying to... How's this going to happen? How's this going to work out? And Cloud9 comes through with it. GG's to Cloud9.
where he was able to just get out of there and reposition and focus the fire on.
It's going to be so interesting to see
Yeah, really nice from C9.
the differences and the evolution of
C9 is a team that buys the Sheriff
Valorant Esports tactics. You know, what we're seeing now is the one meta. What we see in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, which you better expect me to still be making videos like this at that time. It's going to be super interesting to see what the meta is, how players are playing at that time. Of course, new agents will be here, new maps and stuff. So, and you know, like I say, the meta in general will probably change, but it's interesting to see regardless.
I've got to feel like it's going to be a lot more difficult though for the defenders to find the engagements they want.
I'm hoping that the audio's...
versus
I don't want it to peak.
to select which site they want to go to. Here you're at the mercy of where the
Test 1 2. Test 1 2.
It's that camera.
Hopefully that's better.
Okay, so they know exactly where Tens is, but Vice, right out of the gate, does manage to find one. Caboose. Is he going to be on fire today like he was the previous day? The big flash comes in, but Shinobi...
Nice take from Shinobi there. That could be a very important opening, but Calypso gets Vice down, and now it's a 3 versus 3.
Ends up getting caught.
Very even, actually, 3 versus 3 as far as I'm concerned. What does Cloud9 want to do here, though? That's the question.
They can just wrap to spawn. They have a lot of time, so they could still go spawn to B, trying to catch a player out, and they'll find Finesse. And they know there's one on the
This is bad for Envy right now, but Cloud9 do still need to actually get the plant down, which is very important. And of course, Envy has somewhat decent, okay positioning here. Although actually now this is very bad for them because now it's a 1 versus 3 situation, and Mitch takes out Calypso like that, giving Cloud9 the point. I'm really hoping this isn't going into overtime.
How this start has gone, given that they lost the pistol.
Yeah, and I think the credit definitely has to go to Tens there because he gets Sheriff kill.
I can't wait. Honestly, you probably don't care about this at all. Maybe you do. I can't wait till I get this audio thing down, bro. I take so much pride in some parts of video quality. So when it peaks, I cringe so hard. So hopefully it's good.
So I think they're just going to want to be very careful about that and how they play a...
Face cam doesn't need to be fancy, this, that, and the other, but what does need to be done properly is the core, which is good resolution camera, good resolution of gameplay, and good audio. Those are the 3 things, really, for me that I care about in these videos. But Cloud9 and Envy doing a quick trade-off right now. But Mitch is... His location has been revealed, and Mummy is ready with the AWP.
Taking that frag there, and that's a really big problem. Usually, if you could slow down the round now if you're the attacker.
Just need to do again testing, just to check that. Okay, that's fine.
Defenders might, in a position like this, try to get some info, try to start rotating.
I've been listening to I've been watching and sort of analyzing my videos on this channel, and some videos audio is good, but some videos audio I can't even watch. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Anyway, moving onwards, Envy is taking the same position and getting hit the same way. Envy is getting hit right now, but of course we all know that can change in a moment's notice regardless, though. Cloud9 seems to want to be expanding the area of control that they have, and Envy has clearly given up this round, which means it's going to be a 1 to 3 right now. But it's still very early, and we all know that, so it be like that sometimes, you know?
Quickly against Caboose, that just set the tempo for the round, DDK.
Absolutely, and I think that A-main dynamic at the beginning of the round, we have to put our focus on that. Again, one thing I haven't seen that I would have liked to have seen more of, and we see it in Europe quite a lot, is full gelato takes from the defenders, where it doesn't just stop at A-main, but you really take away everything, and that creates a lot more problems for the attackers, because they have to retake that position later on as you as a defender.
That's brutal.
That's huge.
That's brutal. Getting the extra eco, taking away the weapons. That's brutal. Envy's gonna have to make some plays to make up for this now, just in terms of their confidence and stuff like that.
Gelato take and try and like maybe in later rounds, maybe not this one, or it looks like they are stacking. And the reason why is because if they get vision like Tens, he's in a position where he's never going to be targeted, right? So if they tag him, he's screwed. Like,
No
he
vision
switches
whatsoever.
and
Tens may
really
not be in the
knows where
best
he is.
situation right now.
Yeah, it's
Vice
difficult to
having
deal with. It's
backup
bit of
is a
sheriff
good
approach. He could do some
thing.
damage, but again, that smoke's really annoying.
It doesn't look like Envy wants to
It's
push
helpful
actually
for
though. It looks like they're just
some
waiting,
to get close,
and that's
but
actually
also
really
make it a
bad for
little bit difficult
Cloud9.
to go further, as
Now
we can
Envy
see
knows
they're
exactly
sending
what's about to
time to
happen,
the choke
and
point, and they'll
ouch.
pull down after getting no kills, and they
Ouch.
didn't really get info either.
This isn't a
So C9
great
slow plays
round
here
for
to really
Cloud9 right
time
now.
what Envy were looking for at the beginning of the round, which was an early pick with the Sheriffs. And now they've rotated to Catwalk, and they may be able
Still
to
1 minute on the clock. They've got some time.
So it's quite the task.
But I think what's going to be
Everyone's
important
fast.
here is they are going to have to make
61
some plays
HP,
in
a
terms
big
of
kill
taking out
here.
some enemies
Phantom,
here.
no one is around to really
It's
try and
really
respond to
difficult
that.
sometimes to
Lots of
watch a
players
team
that
without
were
a
working
Sage
on Envy,
because,
they're so
you know,
focused
all
on
it takes is for a bit of
here.
chip damage, and that you know, the player who's been chip damaged
Just around
is
the corner,
lost
a lot of confidence,
afterwards.
finesse. He bails out of this, and Shinobi's looking to try and see if he can end this. And playing this one real
Good
subtly
pick
with
from
finesse.
Relics on an
Unfortunate for him,
actually
Relics is
important
gonna
pick
grip the
because
corner.
Finesse
Does
is
get tagged,
definitely
though,
a top
as he
fragger.
approaches the site. Got 4
Okay,
members
and now
entering.
they are taking
Now knowing that they're gonna
over
have to make this retake
B
happen.
site.
Tens
This is
gonna be
good for
coming up from the
C9.
rear. And then
They
don't
need
forget about
this.
Vice, who's
Actually,
all the way on the
I'm looking at the
flank,
wrong
things moving. Matter of
player
that much.
count. Envy's 1 versus
Queen
3
goes
right
on
now.
Calypso, but
Like,
Shinobi was there for the
bang.
follow-up. Cloud9
Cloud9
to
pulling
add
it
on to the
off,
win
but of
here.
course, for all we know, it's going to end up being 7-1, and then
One
Envy
thing
comes
that I
off
think is
and,
interesting to note
you know,
too is
makes
that
it,
in rounds
you
like
know, gets a
that,
9-point
where
lead or
the
something.
guys
Not
like
9-point
Vessels,
lead,
like
but
Envy,
9
they're
points.
looking for the right kind of information to tell them, to give them the tell as to where their opponents are going to go, so they can stack the right site. Now, in this instance, when you're up against something like that, you want to try to make things confusing. You don't want it to be that your Cypher's always the one that lurks, so that when they see your Cypher, they're like, well, we know that the enemies are on, if we see Cypher here, all of his teammates on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're going to see Tens lurking, sometimes we'll see, you know, maybe a different agent lurking, and so I like
Oh
that
wow,
it's,
Envy just pushing like that, but they got the runner back and actually getting a quick 40 or 60, 56 technically HP on Vice like that.
For cheap.
Yeah, they invested a whole bunch into this now. So Mame with this drone should allow them to be able to push up here.
The question is, was that a good run it back? I'm not sure it was. It was important, it was helpful to get, you know, Cypher weak, but it's way too early for that type of play right now.
Rotate their players all the way off of that. But then the mind games
Considering the intel that a run it back can give you, that was not it.
The mind games, man.
It's always the mind games. And then furthermore,
You know, Killjoy's
also
getting pulled out.
Fear that Vice is just always going to have to be there. Now the Killjoy ult is going to be coming through to just try and detain and control. But yeah, they
Oh wow, Relics just said nope. Mitch bringing it out, and now it's a
right when you think that they're not going to be doing anything, and Mame is going to get
wow
at least one target, but does not
4v2. Don't know what's happening with Envy right now.
Now though it leaves it down just two members. You got Finesse and Akis, the last two still standing here for Envy against 4 players for Cloud9. As Mitch approaches on the flank here, ends up getting the kill, which is a real big plus for them. I think they're going to be okay with that. They can disengage and give this round up, hold on to their weapons.
I really love the use of the lockdown there from C9. I think that's so well thought out, as opposed to just using it to just clear.
So this is a 1-5 now to
one of the 2 positions.
Envy. That's not really great, but who knows? I mean, this is starting to look a bit bad now. You know, when it gets past, I would say 4, I start to think, okay, you know, something needs to happen. Something drastic needs to happen. In fairness, though, Envy needs, what, 5 good rounds to bring this back, which they can do. It's just not a position that they want to be in, like, if possible, you know?
Knowing that the players, knowing that that area will not have any defenders in it, because it's too risky too for the defenders to go all the way out to take down the ult. So that's actually, I think, one of the coolest usages and most consistent usages of that ult that I've seen.
And even at that moment when I'm drawing a blank on who it was. I want to say it was Caboose when he was looking to take control of the tree back. As soon as the detain timer was coming down, like you would anticipate that the player's going to start to make the move inside of that.
All right, what's going to happen here? Is Envy going to actually start stepping up here? What's the play? What is the play here, Envy?
Yeah, they're trying to force mistakes, they're trying to bait out utility, they're trying to get any edge they can. You're completely right. It's making it very hard to know what's going on for Envy. Envy are really struggling here to win the early to mid round phases of these gun rounds, and we're seeing a different look from C9 pretty much all the time. They've given up that A main pressure. They look like they want to just go for that hit onto the B side, but there is a lockdown from AKIS that is ready to go. However, we can see how close the attackers are. If they're explosive enough, they could get onto the site and just deal with that immediately. So
it looks like this is going to go down at B, but I can't. Yeah, it looks so set up for B at this point. Everyone's ready for it.
Leading towards that B site now, and C9 looking to get the hit going imminently.
Well, they're going to get rid of some of that utility.
Thing is, this is going to be an absolute. This is going to be carnage very soon. Very soon. Envy getting a quick pick on Akis, but Cloud9 returning and hitting hard.
Oh, it's going to connect. Actually, one and man.
Good shot from Mame.
And he's also going to bang up Shinobi.
But Envy is in a dire position right now. Although now Cloud9, that's not looking for Cloud9 either.
Some of these players for C9 not. I don't think Mummy's. So he's not too sure as to where they're going to be. That is perfect timing from Tens, and Vice finishes.
Envy, bro. What's going on?
The Vice was ready to pull the cover in. Oh, Alex, I think that lockdown.
It's so interesting, actually. I never expected this in Valorant Esports, right? Now, I didn't expect teams that are like so good, that play so well, sometimes play not horribly, but in comparison to how they would normally play. Like Envy has destroyed Cloud9 at different times, and I think their split game they destroyed Cloud9 maybe, and then Cloud9 right now are destroying Envy. It's a really interesting. It's interesting how this can just go back and forth like that. You didn't see that. I meant back. I was doing that, but it was off camera. Anyway, Relic's getting a Cloud9 getting another pick on Envy. Basically, what's going to happen here? Is it going to be different or not?
Away from Envy and then going for the hits when they need to.
So we have Envy doubling down on this cat control. He lost Caboose. He was spammed through. He couldn't even make the play he was looking for. That's a pretty huge problem. Tens is going to ask questions of Catwalk here as he moves a bit closer. So they seem to realize that Envy are playing for these engagements around middle, and it looks like Relics will take down Finesse. So Envy are just.
This is so bad for Envy right now, bro. Oh my.
Paranoia and a Lear to take down Calypso. So
but saying that, it's not actually a good example of what I was just talking about in terms of teams sometimes playing amazingly, sometimes not. Dignitas played really well. I think it was against TSM a few days ago. Damn, bro. The reason why I'm not even, it's the same story over and over right now. Cloud9 is just dominating. But with Dignitas did really well against TSM. I think they went into overtime eventually though against TSM on Haven. And then I didn't watch the game because I was like editing or something. But then they played against Sentinels, who is a very fair competitor to TSM, right? And I saw on Liquipedia that they went something like 13. Sentinels went 13-0 against Dignitas on one of their games, and I was just confused. I was about to make a video talking about how Dignitas might be the next #1 NA team, and I had to scrap that title because you're not really #1 NA team if you're going 0-13. But at the same time they've had amazing plays, and it's just crazy to see. Regardless, so Envy finally gets a pick on Cloud9. Is that going to be the start of this comeback that may happen from Envy? That's the question. I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Am I getting a bit of intel right there?
After losing that early player in B main, they are forced to commit somewhere together. They don't want to keep defaulting and risk losing another player and being in a 3v5. So they play off of the only position they really had info on at this point when they lost their player, which was A main here. Of course, their Cypher was looking after this position. There was no aggression here, so they can likely assume that Envy do have a setup on the site or in the tree position. So all they have to do is just run utility, and we are going to get an ult there, I think, into the Hunter's Fury potentially. And
he's going to stick it.
Okay, this looks like it might be Envy's round potentially.
That is just beautifully done, DDK. Now, though, the response is going to come through. Relic is still going to be up here. He's still going to be a problem.
Such a good ult. Oh, no!
Oh.
He had to hit that one. And maybe he'll get another shot at this one. But C9 are 2 against 4 here, but they still have some position to work off of. But never mind. Envy finally pick up the round. And
it had to happen at some point. Like,
if you can have an ult, that'll make
GG's though. GG's. But yeah, I mean,
with
looking at
everything
how
being
this has
really
all
slick
gone
for
so
Side
far,
Given that
like
they were 4 versus 5, I think it was a pretty good shout.
they needed that, you know.
Those ults, considering that they still have some a lot of money to play with in the following rounds. Rex is 14 for 6. He's having a great game on Omen. Yesterday he was huge.
I'm gonna get so behind on these games, bro. I'm already behind. I've already skipped out like 3 or 4 matches. It's impossible for me to react to all of these games. You know, it wouldn't be if I didn't have any other videos to make, but you may know me from a few other channels, mainly Valorant Hub right now, because that's yep. But regardless, Cloud9 does seem to be interested now in B sides. Is this Cloud9 going to be
to accomplish that, by the way, so that they can get further up ahead?
Pardon me. Is Cloud9 gonna get this 8, or is Envy gonna get this 3? That's the question.
You have to respect that and play a little bit slower, because it means that Envy could be doing something elsewhere on the map. So they want to just be sure that that's not the case before they start to make their own movement, which is why at the 1 minute mark we're seeing the mid take coming.
Oh wow.
Vice though goes a little bit deep there. That's
but FNS in a harsh position right now. That's a difficult situation to be in.
One player on the extremity, and now they could maybe have an advantage. This will force C9 to commit to a site. Oh, but they can't go into B. It looks like the Killjoy ult has been dropped.
Yeah, and they're gonna just hold this one.
They're waiting out.
Flank around the corner. He's got this thing angled out. That is just a great use of detain, because that's just more stall, more delay. You're giving Cloud9 limited time to work with, while at the same time you're trying to take a little bit more space here.
Killjoy is such an interesting agent for esports.
Oh, he went back in again, and I think he thought that maybe with the angle that he would not have been caught out there with that. Leer, it ends up
okay,
the case. Mitch is also going to pick up
anything can actually happen here, which you might disagree with.
Here, and now they're going to be able to get onto the site, but they have to worry about Aegis. Aegis, no! He went for the wrong player. He actually could have just snuck up, gotten the kill at the player at the double boxes. FNSE at 7 HP has no choice. He has to save this op. The round goes to Cloud9.
Oh, C9 is so sick at these very slow rounds.
Was I right or was I right?
in spawn,
it was literally like a 2-second difference, and they made it work.
And even though they delayed it,
this is ridiculous, bro. Envy had that. Envy had that, bro. They had that.
1 second spare.
And then they lost it.
That is insane. That went down to the smallest margin.
Can't believe it.
They went into the most heavily defended site. Had they chosen to go towards A, up through the high ground, they only had one player to worry about, which was Finesse. Yeah. So that would have been the better option. They couldn't have known that. But I think maybe they assumed with the lockdown towards B that it would be less.
All right.
Possible.
So what? Cloud9.
Insane that C9 are so good in these.
This is still good, but Envy can come back. Envy can come back still.
10 seconds. They're not even in the site yet. It's so crazy.
This is still somewhat early game. Okay, yes, we're what, like 11 rounds in now.
Just gotten that one pick there. FNS on the other side of the map.
But I mean, heck, I've seen this go 25 rounds. Like, this can go either way still. Either way.
How the cookie crumbles now. As we move on here to our next round of play, we only have 2 rounds.
How long have we been recording? 23 minutes. Okay.
Big difference from what we saw.
So yeah, this could end up being an hour long. Or it could end up being 40 minutes, to be fair. Kind of hope it's the 40 minutes though, because either I'm gonna react to another game after this, depending on how long this game is, or not. I'll have to do it tomorrow. And I'll probably just end up having to react to the finals, because that's that'll be the most relevant thing.
I would say
so.
C9 were generally getting the better of that exchange. They decided to start just using their Cypher towards that position just to look after it and make sure that Envy didn't make any pushes all the way around to mid. And instead C9 started to find advantages going for that slow style and playing a lot more playing into that delayed mid take and just working the
well, the good thing is that this is on VOD, so let's skip past the
really passively.
Yeah, it really has by thunderstorms.
Oh no.
All right, man.
A technical pause. A technical pause. Good thing this is on VOD, hey. Otherwise this would have been tricky. Oh my. Oh hell. Okay. We'll go here.
Going. So it forces the attackers to have to play to your tune, and that's kind of the point here.
I suppose
Right
that's the
now,
perks of not doing this live.
as much as they like, and NVS
That was like a
struggling to
4
find ways
5 minute technical
to
pause,
really,
which that makes a
pressure
difference to
someone
me.
early
I'll be
on.
honest.
The
It does make a difference. Makes a very big
adaptation
difference.
force, Envy hasn't been as prevalent. The only thing that I think they've been really
Okay.
successful in has been this
So we're back in the
ability,
game. Is
A-main play
Envy
to
now?
take space. Now, Mummy
Bearing in
knows
mind they've had a
that
5-minute time to essentially, hopefully, somewhat relax,
it's gonna be Shinobi.
regroup,
Here's where they
think.
push forward, and just like
Is
said,
Envy
this
gonna
was the
have a
only
better
area where
game
they were
now?
finding success. Cloud9's like, really, Golden Boy? We'll just go ahead and take this ourselves.
Literally.
They managed to do so with authority as that Lear pushes him forward.
They started off strong,
Completely caught out.
but
It's
Envy
just a surprise
is ready,
of
it
that
seems,
Lear,
for an
right? It's not something
A-site
that you
move.
normally would expect to play against. No one else in North America plays Reyna, and no one's playing it the way that Tens
But
is playing
Tens
it,
did
so
just
it's
take
a
out
lot
one of
confident fights.
Envy's star fraggers, which isn't helpful. And again, Tens is going off, bro.
I was going to say they can just hold for Relics to make a play now, but they
Who's the IGL for Cloud9? I can't remember.
roll into the site with it. So it's looking like this round is over, but
This is clean, man. This is the final round.
This is very clean.
Basically wrap at this point. Akis has no other choice. He has to go for a play, but
Is it Akis,
Swarm,
bro?
little
I've been saying
robots
Akis
are
this
gonna
whole
eat him
time.
alive, and that is going to be the half. Cloud9 on attack looks so good, and now
I'll learn
just the
eventually.
three on the defense.
I'll learn eventually.
Two
It's
pistols and you're
it's all
basically
okay.
right there.
yeah, and
It's all
we kind of
okay.
saw that point around A main and Gelato play out. where
Remember,
the defenders
if you're
tried
not
to do
already
some
aware,
presence there, but
I never
they
played
don't do enough.
Counter-Strike.
Like, you
I
need
never
to do
watched
more.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it
Well,
was the only
actually,
area
that's a
where they were,
lie.
like, getting into,
When I say never watched Counter-Strike Esports, what I mean by that is I never watched it more than about 3 games. So that's pretty much not watching it, right? I definitely didn't watch it enough to know any of the teams.
Yeah, it's really cheap for the attackers to
Or any of
to
the players, I
that,
should
so,
say.
well, we will see.
The team sort of spanned
Some
over
recovery
esports, so I
today
didn't know
in
the
second
teams.
half.
You know, they were in Call of
Great
Duty
attacking
too,
side
so.
from C9, we didn't really see too much in the way of responses from Envy, but perhaps on their attacking side, they'll be able to respond in kind. We'll get the early
Okay.
utility thrown into B main by
Next
so
round,
just to
we have
delay
3
any
rounds to
timing,
go
see if there's
potentially,
any
but is
also
Envy
to
going
allow
to
them
change
drop the
that?
cam in
It looks
B main
like we
position.
switched
This
sides,
does afford them
and
some
that always
opportunity to get
that
info later
that
on.
very regularly does change somewhat the
Pressure towards
tide of
B
the
main, so they wanna
game.
try to find this cam. So applying pressure here can actually help them to remove that cam and allow them to make it very.
The only thing is,
known
with the
as to what
dominance
they
that
are trying to
Cloud9
do, so they
has
try to kill that
shown
cam. They know
in
that
this
they tried it,
game,
it went down, and I think they're trying to
it's
force a trigger of it so they can find it. But
Yeah, he didn't bite.
it's not good for Envy.
He did not bite. That camera's still going to be alive. Now, Envy looking to take maybe some information, also take some of that utility away in mid, which is always going to be a plus.
yeah, and now the cam's activated because of the noise, and now they rotate towards A because they have the info. But is it quick enough, Alex? That's the question.
Well, they're going to have to fly. With Tens manages to pick up 1 kill, but Calypso's going to swing onto that one.
This could be
Mid,
Envy's
Alliance moves in
round.
here underneath scaffolding. Shinobi, those
This
are
is
quick
Envy's
actions,
round.
But will end up getting bodied there in the process. Mitch still alive, but with 2 players he has to deal with here. 3 now. Everyone basically just wanted to kill Mitch. And it's all up to Vice. A 1v3.
Well, Cloud9 can afford that, but this is this point is more than just this point, isn't it? Because you know, if the first round that Envy is an attacker and they manage to get the point, that's really good for Envy's confidence and stuff, and it's really bad for Cloud9's. You know, if the first you know, switch up means that Envy's actually getting a chance, that's not good for Cloud9. So who knows, is Cloud9 going to start facing some issues here? It's still very early to tell. That was only 1 round, so it could have just been that Cloud9 needed to calibrate to Envy's attacking strategy, but we'll see.
For all of you out there playing matchmaking,
without your team.
if you're in a 3v1 or a 2v1, don't give them 1v1s. That's how they win the clutch. Anti-eco here.
Okay. Like they're trying to take this space here in main.
Envy wanted that. They were hungry,
So that could like.
but they
depends on
didn't get a
what,
single
they
shot in, I
end up
believe.
doing, Vice, but I don't. Okay, he does use the camera, so now they're gonna know.
Okay,
where
so that was
camera
good
is
for Envy.
The next few rounds, which they can actually use to their advantage moving forward.
Now they're just going to wait this out a little bit, I think.
well, it suggests that they could cross, but hold that thought, we get.
Or
a
so I
nice shorty there
thought.
from Vice.
But that's not a fight that Mame should be taking right now. No, don't overextend.
C9, but they're not committing, and that means that,
Why are you overextending? But 10's getting a good kill there, to be fair. This is still a 3 versus 3 now, though, and Envy's actually taken... I didn't even realize that they were a site.
Actually, Tenz's Sheriff was a tone shifter for Cloud9 on their attack previously. If you recall, they lost that first round, and it was because
This
of the way
could
that
be
he
good for
plays his Sheriff.
Cloud9.
It's almost as if like he's just super comfortable with it. Now he's coming up on the flank.
Depends how they play.
They got 2 players tucked away.
Positioning-wise, I mean. Right, 10 sees them. That's very important. That was an incredibly important kill. But this isn't looking good now. This is looking, yeah, this is it.
And they'll get those kills. Envy win the pistol and the anti-eco, which was big for them. They needed that to try and get themselves back into this game. They have a long road ahead of them.
It seems so reliable that C9 get a lot of mileage out of those rounds where they have like a shorty and maybe N10s always will have the Sheriff.
Yeah, that was the thing, right? Is I think a lot of what happened there, if they had different weapons, 10s did pretty well, but they all had I feel like they needed to push together, and one of them, I can't remember who, but one of them had a shorty. In a situation where a shorty wasn't the right weapon to use, and that's difficult. But regardless, what's about to happen this round? Are they actually going to take B site ever, or is it just going to be a distraction so they can get to A site nicely?
But Envy have discovered that mid is completely for free. There is a turret there towards Pizza. To see if they can get this pick onto Relic. So this is a big moment here for C9.
Okay, so now they are aware.
Gets the info, doesn't take any damage.
I was going to say that. Like, that's just the best possible situation there for Relics now, right? He's going to get cut off, but that's going to give his teammates all the confidence in the world to be prepared.
Oh my. Oh my.
He doesn't get the second one, though, and then the swing comes through. Aegis and Calypso, they connect with kills against Vice and Shinobi. Thus
this could go anyway still, though. Envy's Sova is really low. Same as their Cypher. Cloud9, of course, though, is almost a 1v. No, it's a difficult one. Cloud9's. This is. The thing is, all. He can't see him, and that's gonna suck for him. That's. Oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. Oh no, you shouldn't have done that. Yikes.
It's all up to Relics here. 15 HP. Is it going to be worth it for him to try and take this, or does he try and pin them inside of the site, get them to die?
Oh, this is so difficult to watch sometimes.
Yeah, he's just
yeah, he's let that go.
And make sure they both die.
But this is a bit worrying now.
I think that's
Not,
exactly what's going
yeah,
to
somewhat.
More ult charge out of it, and everyone's going to die.
That was funny.
Everyone gets ults. Everyone gets charged. You know, it's great.
So far, so good here for Envy on the second half. However, we will be, after this save round, going into another gun round. So
the thing for Cloud9, right, is that they're not worrying too much, maybe. I don't know.
We didn't really see this too much
but they might not be worrying, because realistically, Cloud9 only need 3 more rounds here. Like, yeah, Envy has a big push to make right now. They're pushing uphill. Don't give me another technical pause, bro.
Something that's a scary precedent.
Well, actually, I don't mind them giving you another technical pause, because I can just skip it.
When the conditioning from being able to defend the market push.
What type of technical pause is this, though?
Has been kind of barren. Not a lot of fights have taken place over there.
And that's
reacting scary, like because it's just
Just go minute by minute. That's the key here, I think.
Create a bad timing for a team.
You're gonna accomplish anything?
Flip's sake, bro. Well, we know that Envy won that round, then I suppose. Let's just deal with it. You know what I mean?
Double op, but the reason why I think they're able to do that is because they shifted 10s over toward
All right.
to handle that aggression.
We're back.
But
That's all that
Envy,
matters.
they are so comfortable
Okay.
with this, they're actually going to play out A main and take control of this. Oh man, they did exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, and he's on the edge of the dark cover too, so I really loved it. This is great. I just love TenZ because he has the confidence to do stuff like this. You wouldn't necessarily put a lot of players in a position like this, but TenZ is, and he's getting a lot of info. Around the 1 minute mark is about the pacing that we've seen, where they take mid.
Oh, don't stay
It's
there.
traded out, but we'll see if that works out in their favor or not.
There are very few players that are built like TenZ right now in North American Valorant that you can send into an angle like that to be a disruptor. So while they were getting a lot of information at A main and forced some rotations to happen over there, they, because of the way that TenZ played and gave them so much information, now they kind of have to rethink what they're going to do here to take this site.
And C9 already droned A main, so C9, the timing on the drone was a little bit too soon. They were expecting a rotation immediately after the TenZ engagement in mid, and so they don't really have the info as to what's happening, and in fact, Sova's pushing away from the site towards spawn, so they are kind of relying on Vice very desperately, and he's going to get traded out.
All right, well, there it is. So now they're going to go in for this push. Now we have a TP.
How's this going to work out? 3 versus 3. Envy has got into the site, and he literally can't see them. That is crazy, bro. Oh my. Oh my. That was not good for Alex, sorry.
The shock darts from Shinobi. Can he find it?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
They're hitting hard in this one. That was a really nice round from them. C9 just misread the pacing of Envy, and as I say, it comes down to...
So they really did come back,
lost TenZ
or are coming, I should say, coming back.
He gets the kill, but I think he didn't get the... he wasn't able to phase out of there afterwards, which is...
Yeah, the play
which is great for Envy.
Not the absorb, right? Like, siphoning that health...
It's a bit difficult for someone like myself who's trying to get everything done in good time, and these games, they just last so long. Like, when this happens, and it happens frequently, whenever they switch sides, the other team comes back. So, I do factor it into my schedule, but it still takes up a lot of time. Like, an hour per game, roughly, is quite a lot. I mean, to be fair, we're only 36 minutes in, but...
They will. Akis with the first entry.
Anyway, Envy is coming back with it. Akis taking down Vice. Is Caboose. Okay, so TenZ is just nowhere near. Shinobi's low. Is Envy going to try mid? Because they've just done quite a bit of important work. Oh my gosh.
The thing is, they do not have the weapons to cause a disruption. And I don't think Envy would have played it out like this had they known that C9 had those weapons. TenZ is all the way out here at the top of that catwalk on their side, on the Envy side of the map. And Envy, they're just playing this one out slowly.
Yeah, I love this. If you feel like you've missed out on your time and you're expecting to get flanked, you can just pause and see if the opponent
just a little peek.
Your pace, and then overstep, punish it, and then you keep going. And that's kind of where we're at in this round. They don't want to give up any kills here, Envy, and they're a little bit worried for the mid flank. You can see they were just checking for that, and now they're going to re-exec into the site. And it should go pretty well here. They have the utility advantage. There goes the flash, clearing the close angles.
Smart.
Akis looks right, the rest of his teammates look left, and it's a beautiful coordination. That was a great way to play.
Is Envy really about to win this?
The situation and not overplaying.
Like...
But TenZ is
alive.
Always good for one.
Yeah, he gets a gun, and he also gets that trusty Vandal that he's...
TenZ is good, but I don't think he's good enough to do this.
Entirety of this day. Playing this angle, everyone just has to fear TenZ at this point, right? There's like no...
Oh my god, bro.
I mean, you have the entire might of the squad needing to put their attention to kill him, which they successfully do. 5 rounds in a row that Envy have been able to come back. They're within 2 of Cloud9. If you would have told me that this game would have gone like this, where it's so attack-heavy, I wouldn't have believed you, given how these teams played before.
Yeah, and both teams are doing it with their own style, with their own pace, with their own sort of mind games and conditioning, and it's just another feature of Valorant that's really cool, that the half, like each half looks very differently because of agent compositions and
Space Lion just wrote in the Twitch chat Sentinels emojis. Why? This is Envy versus C9, bro.
So this is something we were talking about earlier. TenZ is pushing A main.
Man wants to rep his team outside of a game where his team's playing.
And they're goes the lockdown into the B site. So
Alright,
this
what's about to
all hands
happen?
dedicated towards B for
C9 actually
C9.
punches back a little bit here, but Envy
Gonna be the
punches
push, a
back
little
with
bit of commotion's
Caboose.
gonna happen as the Hunter's
FNS
Fury
coming
comes
back as
out.
well.
They're gonna back up. Neural Theft
And
now
at
is
this
gonna
point, if you're
reveal
going to ask me who's going to win, I would say
of
Envy at
the
this
members
rate.
of C9.
Which I wasn't going to say. I wouldn't have said
That's
this
the
a while
reason
ago,
why
but
FNS was able to get that kill.
the switch sides is
Reset
everything.
this here. They're gonna reset. They saw where the bodies were. Now they're gonna start making their way over toward A. That alarm bot is gonna give them the intel.
Thing is, they can do
Full
this.
swing.
They
Also,
can do
getting
this
stuff that little
easily.
bot there to help you out. Both players from C9
They have the
there.
player count that they
Vegas watching
need.
the flank. I do admire the fact that
And I
there's
can't
still
imagine
a lot of respect
Cloud9 is
for
feeling
C9.
too
Despite what we
comfortable
have
right
here
now.
with 2 players left alive, you know, you may think you get a lurk or something along that effect, but instead it's just going to be Cloud9. I think they realize this is not going to be one that they can win. They have to concede this, and V will go in within 1 here.
So there's a lot of like really smart stuff that's happening right now, I think, from Envy's side of things, and I'm hoping that this is what they thought. Otherwise, I'm going to make them sound a lot smarter than they are. I'm knowing that there's like all these ults available, you know, trying to get that exchange out of their opponents, making it representing a heavy B attack, whilst also we talked about the fact that because they've been so B and mid heavy, they've also conditioned C9 to feel like they can just push 10s on A main a lot. So they have all this threat. They know that they're forcing a rotation. So if it isn't the case that they just get super easy entries, where of course you would take the B site, they know that the timing of the rotations from A is going to be a lot faster on their flank, so they can play against that after they make it look like a B hit. They pulled all the players to B, the flank comes to them, they deal with the flank as you highlighted.
Yeah.
Is in too deep
And
of
that
a
was
position.
partially because of the neural theft.
And that tells them how deep 10s is, also tells them that the run to the site is basically clear. So they get to play off of those mind games that they previously conditioned into their...
I'm hoping you can hear what the casters are saying, because I did try to turn up the audio so you could hear it. So that's why I just said yeah. I was saying yeah and agreeing to what the caster was saying, but...
So they're sending a lot of utility out in this direction.
I don't want the caster to be louder than me, otherwise what's the point of me talking, you know?
Now the tone has shifted a little bit. Shinobi's drone flying through this will...
Okay, so that was some intel. That Cypher's there, but it's not any more, which is kind of interesting for them.
So Aegis out toward the mid, and then Calypso is also going to be playing mid as well. They're spread out a bit more here. They're not investing that much into either side of the map. They're really just not giving Cloud9 like a clear indication as to where they're going.
This is such a big moment here, because MV know that C9 have almost every single ultimate available.
Yeah.
And just missing the Hunter's Fury, but the lockdown exists. So you want to be really cautious about how you attack, because you don't want to commit yourself into all of the ults. You want to try to bait the ults out and make them waste those ultimates. So we'll see if they can do that. It's part of the reason why they're playing fairly slow here. They're trying to get as much info as they can. And there goes the Killjoy ult. And they are taking mid at the same time.
They got 2 kills out of that.
Oh, no.
I think they're okay with that. They got 2 kills, and Caboose dies, but they know exactly where Mitch is with the op. Now Vice is going to be hanging on the back here. They need something to deal with this. But Vice gets the info from that camera, so he sees them over toward mid. And he has 2 areas that he has to focus on, but he's going to push outside of the dark cover.
That was a good shot from Vice. How is it going to translate? It's not.
While that's going on, Aegis comes in
because unless Vice manages to get off a 1 versus 3 here...
all alone with an op on
exactly, with an op.
No options to get inside.
Now,
Envy...
I hate to put it this way, but if Wardell was on this situation, potentially just because of the shots that Wardell gets here, but Vice isn't trying to get that, I don't think, so...
And again, because you see that they have all these ults, and it's almost like, I was worried for them.
The thing is here is that Cloud9 were... Gosh, I am tired. I apologize for not speaking and being as animated as I sometimes am. Cloud9, well, they're about to be drawing now with Envy in a few seconds. I mean, Vice gets a nice hit on an Aegis, which is really good. But what happened? Or is Cloud9 just going to come out with some crazy ult play, which is what the casters keep talking about? Is Cloud9 going to come out with some crazy surprise? I'd love to hear what they're talking about right now. I'd love to hear their comms, because this is an interesting situation.
Found themselves in their half, where they had no idea what the response could possibly be, where the adjustments are.
If Envy actually gets us 11 here, I'm gonna think Envy's gonna win. If this is where everything changes potentially. if Cloud9 is super hungry and they're figuring things out, this could be good for them. But I did not think this was going to be a 10-10 situation, so I don't know.
A lot of value to be able to take out of this, and now they're going to put their attention once again here toward the B site as they look to push this one in. The paranoia is also going to be used. They're going to take the space.
All right, well, they've quickly taken over.
Fly this one out, but wait a minute, Shinobi ends up getting the kill, so they lose 2 players there in that whole scuffle. As C9 now,
that's not good for Envy. The FNS gets Relics there, and then Tens gets him back, but then Calypso gets Tens. And now it's a 2 versus 2, but of course Cypher's low.
They don't have a really pretty post-plant positioning here.
This isn't good for Cloud9 at all.
Yeah, this is definitely difficult. Being all the way at the back of the site is not ideal. There's even a cage left.
Oh, this is awkward.
That could be
I don't think they know what to do now,
utilizes that
which is really unfortunate for them. But it means that Envy is most likely to win this.
2v2 angles are covered fairly well between Mummy and Calypso. At the back of the site, the operator really strong in these spots. Recon Dart is available, but wants to keep that gun out. There's a swing onto Calypso. Now it's all on Mummy as he pulls out that Recon Dart. Oh, the flick misses on Vice now. The Sheriff.
No way.
Job. There it is. 3 connections onto Mitch. And one more for Mummy, and he's going to clutch it.
That could have gone anyway.
And that's 11 rounds for them. C9, that looked like one of the best chances that we've seen for them, and it's not gone well.
No,
is this really about to be a 12-10?
Have the lead first time. The only time they had the lead was at the beginning of this game when they won pistol, and I think it was anti-eco. And then since then, it was just absolute domination from Cloud9. Envy on this attack have been so stellar from the beginning, right? From their pistols all the way until now. If we show the scoreboard here for a moment, look at that, man. That is crazy, dude. They've managed to win all of these rounds coming back. Ah, I can't believe it. What a game.
And it's not over just yet. The buy does suck. I mean, for a C9, it's a half buy. They managed to, I think they've got 1 Phantom in the mix there, so that's pretty cool. 3 Sheriffs, so definitely can't count them out to do some damage. And they're looking for that B main aggression, trying to keep the information alive that they spot the drone, trying to destroy the drone there to deny as much info as possible. It's okay to get one of you tagged up with that drone.
This is an important round. This is a very important round.
Now, Envy, after...
I honestly don't know how it's going to go.
Control, we talked about this before. They've often gone into a mid-take, into a market explosion. I
would imagine Envy sweating now. Yeah, they might be doing really well, but this is still very close. And 1 trip up, 1 round is all it takes.
Envy throw them for a loop here because, again, Envy know also that that's how they've been playing these rounds out. So,
but this is Envy's time to shine. If they want this win, but Mitch makes it back. FNS takes Mitch out. Interesting trade-off.
Footsteps on the outside. 3 players located here toward mid.
This is different to how
exactly what they want. Like they knew that they were going to be doing this.
Yeah, this is different to how Envy have been playing before. But Calypso gets a very important frag out, but Relic stops the frag out.
There's only 10 seconds to get a spike down.
Envy can get this done though quite easily.
There was a moment in mid there. If Sova has his recon dart for C9, that would have been huge. But cooldown, Vice, that's
what's this going to happen now? Because
Relics
Relics and Vice can turn the tide of this potentially. Now they have the info that they need.
So they have some freedom to push in. But while that ping did go through,
this is a very tight situation.
Aegis hits 1 shot, looking for the second. Big win for Envy's Aegis, as now Envy are going to be at match point. After a dismal
I'm taking notes because Aegis never stood out to me. Maybe this is me being really misinformed. There's nothing against Aegis. Never saw Aegis as a top fragger, but consistently now he's on the kill feed, on the right side of the kill feed, i.e. getting the kills. And he's been putting off some really nice plays. Same thing with Calypso. FNS I see as a very frequent fragger, but Calypso and Aegis have been doing really well this game, which is actually really important because, you know, you have these roles and you have these somewhat identities now with these teams. You know, Sinatra being or Woodell being an op player, a really good one. Shanks being a really good op player. Sinatra being really good with the Odin and Ares. Shazam being a really good op player. Are Aegis and Calypso changing their reputations as fraggers, essentially? That'll be really interesting regardless. So Cloud9 needs this. They need this right now.
they feel like there's more value from having Cypher's util in mid. So that just goes to show, you know, Envy have been getting a lot of value out of their mid aggressions. And it's been really hard for C9 to know what that means. Is it a spawn push, a market push? Are they faking it out?
Yeah, like, because you can go so many different directions from there. It's not cut and dry. Okay, Vice.
Ooh.
And try and level things off in their favor.
Well, that was a good pick.
Kill as well, because now they don't have run it back. Akis does have this lockdown though, so let's see. Once this lockdown is placed though, they're gonna know exactly where.
This is actually a bit interesting because there's 30 seconds on the clock and NB haven't even pushed the site that they're expecting to push, especially with Killjoy's ult. This could be quite bad. Or they're saying that Envy did that themselves, and now this could be awkward for Cloud9.
They're pinned inside.
Oh, this is bad.
Two players, they know exactly where they're going to be. It's free push, free push. They have their hands open. Oh no, they're going to turn the corner. They're going to get them both. Oh, this is so devastating, but they got to get the spike down. And now they are. Wait, I don't think they got it down in time. They didn't get it down in time. Oh no, they didn't. They didn't get it down in time. Everything worked, and they're losing bodies. Oh my goodness.
Oh, so close. Oh my goodness. Two players at the back of the site detained, and they still can't win.
I don't want to bring this up, but I'm going to. Cloud9's first point in over like 6 or 7 rounds here is totally from NB throwing. That is so awkward.
And they still got the limits of margin, but they can't.
Oh no, that's painful for Envy and Cloud9. That's awkward for Cloud9, but who knows?
Because of the fact that they lost Caboose so early at the start, Vice with the kill, the run it back, that information, it's all going to be gone. Now they're going to be shifting their attention here toward A main once again, and they have found some success here in the past. We haven't quite seen them go full for it often. It's been more of that mid-play.
This game has confirmed
hence the reason why Shinobi sending a drone out
that
mid. This does tell them that they're not going out in this direction, but Envy, they've had
I'm not going to be able to watch any more games tonight.
Now with that drone
So GG's to Envy for prolonging the game. GG's.
That drone actually did
They needed it. Fair play.
Because that's not been
You know, the game still hasn't been dictated yet. Cloud9 could still win, and that's sort of what I expected to happen about 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes ago. Oh my god, this game's going to last an hour. Potentially. It's 51 minutes, bro. Come on, teams.
There is an alarm bot there, I believe. So this is information. This is the benefit of Killjoy. And back into the mid control, we see the tripwires there as well. Again, C9 are a bit better set up in terms of their mid-round info to follow the action here of their opponents. There's that paranoid to slow things down. There's the rotation from C9 through spawn. And there's a rotation back from Envy to the A side. They're pushing and pulling them all over the place, but there's 10 seconds again.
They've actually lost. Bro, there's no way this is how they get into overtime. This is not how they get overtime, surely.
But have they gotten the spike down in time? They do, and the Hunter's Fury doesn't connect. He's going to miss the second one as well. Maybe land the third one, but no.
This could still go anyway because Envy
does manage to pick up the kill. The flash comes in. Shinobi gets the kill against Caboose, making this into a 2v2. And there's similar health pulls on both sides.
Literally.
Here, as both of the Sovas are going to be tagged up. Vice, though, he's going to be inside of the tree area here. Shinobi up on top of the rafters. As Vice swings this, he's going to try and block this thing off. No vision has been gained. Mummy gets a big shot there. Now it's just going to be left up to Vice in a 1v2, and they can't do it, as Envy will be able to breathe a sigh of relief. And you know that they're very satisfied with that. They'll take game 1 on Cloud9's pick.
I can't believe that happened, bro. That is ridiculous, bro. GG's to both teams, but how did that happen? How does that happen, bro? This just shows that anything can happen. You can literally be 2 points away from... whatever. Right, okay. GG's to both teams. I can't believe that. That literally led this game to being 53 minutes long, but GG's to both teams. I don't know what happens after this. This is, this has already been done like ages ago. Well, not ages, but like 5 hours ago. So, regardless. If you want to see more of what's going on with the Valorant Esports scene, I do post these games, obviously with me going over it and stuff, and other things that I'm interested in. So if you want to be up to date with everything happening on the channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, keep notifications on. But with that being said, I think that's basically everything. I got to edit a Valorant video now, so have a great day, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.